So I think the question I'm seeing over and over again is how do I figure out who my target clientele is, what they need, um, find out what they like, what ails them, and how can I find these things out in an inquiry.
Mm.
Identifying the target market is definitely something I mean, sales, like, I love, all the sales, but the basic pinpoint of it, I guess. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I do. Are you speaking specifically to your overall market, or are you talking about like, oh, if I'm texting a client, how do I find out specifically in the interaction what he does or doesn't want?
Both. But
Okay.
it was all linked together in the how do I figure out, what they need, essentially. From the marketing to, and I mean, I know to ask questions and stuff, but I don't know. I guess I ask very superficial questions a lot.
No, I understand what you're saying. Let's start with the market and then we'll drill down to like
Yeah.
per inquiry because the way that we handle it is different. So, firstly, in terms of like larger escort categories, we've probably spoken before about the GFE category.
Yes, sorry.
Cool. So, firstly, you fit into that category really nicely. Like you're selling that girlfriend experience, everything you provide lines up with that. The pitch that you have around dates, like it all fits that GFE. And there's plenty of stuff that I can tell you about the general GFE client. And what I do if I'm working with any escort and I identify a category that they're in is I
Yeah.
literally will go to Reddit, go to Google and type in what do men like about the girlfriend experience? What do men like about the girl next door? So that's how I start like a broader sort of search at a really high level, because that is just about like anybody and everybody. It's not even about a particular escort client. That's just about like men in general.
Right. No, I get it though.
Cool. So I start there. Then what you'll see is that there's repetitive themes. What is it that they like about the girlfriend experience? Wholesome, innocent, natural, feels real, reminds me of that girl. And I know this because I've done all this research on Reddit, right? So I'm just repeating stuff too that I've already done. Feels like the girl that I had a crush on in high school. It's all the same. It's all
Yeah.
variations of that.
Yeah, I saw that in the ad copy. I thought that was a cute way to incorporate that.
Cool. So that's how I start at the broad level. And then the reverse of that is, well, what do clients, if we wanted to think, what are they afraid of in that situation? Like, what are the insecurities for a man about being with a girl like that? You can also Google that with Reddit. Like, what are men nervous about with women? What is it about a guy's crush that makes him nervous? And that stuff is usually to do with insecurity, not being attractive, not being good enough, very human type fears.
Okay. The attractive one always makes me laugh.
And it's still applicable in an escort situation, but it's applicable in a different way because that's a large part of why they're paying is that is no longer as big of a concern because they know. I mean, the trick is to make them feel like you are attracted to them, but they know that
Yeah.
they're paying and don't really have to. They don't have to worry about you rejecting them. That's what they're afraid of with approaching a girl they're attracted to on the street, that they're going to get rejected. The reason they pay for it with an escort is rejection is taken away.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good point. I actually saw a client this week that, like, I've honestly never made it to well, okay, I guess one time, uh, to the room with, like, a straight up review client or somebody that, like, he was from, and he said, they send us lists, which I think is what you do or
Mm-hmm.
have offered. And it was super weird to be in that room because I certainly wasn't trying to like turn this guy down, but like I just don't do a bunch of acronym stuff. Like, so I get that. I get that. And I got to watch it in real time, and like I definitely didn't like turn him down. I guess I got to a point where I was like, I guess the best way to explain it is I'm kind of vanilla. And I wrote a blog, and you should read that. And I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and if you decide you want to hire somebody else, I'll just go.
Mm-hmm.
He did not send me home.
Yeah, Yeah, and I think it's in situations where like that's what he's used to. I'd say that's a bit of a freak situation. But the general theme of what are guys like men afraid of with women,
Yeah,
that's what it is. And that's why escorting is so successful, so popular, is because that massive fear and the complication and the convenience and all that is taken away. So that's the top level. And how I research that is what I just said, and also based on like my personal experience, which gets us down to the next level. Excuse me. So the
okay.
next level of, okay, well, what is it about escort clients specifically? What do they like and what are they fearful of when it comes to booking an escort or a GFE escort?
Yeah, and I mean, if this is the part about like things not being real, I guess what I'm more trying to pinpoint is how do I figure out what a bunch of dudes that aren't my age that I share like very few interests with into so that I can be in the right places to attract them, either online or otherwise. Keywords.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going through now. That's what I'm
Sure.
going through now with you. And where to be, I mean, you're the best places to be as an escort, selling an escort service are on escort websites. So you're in the right places already, and having your social media and stuff like that is all helpful. But in terms of like, how do you understand the psychology so that then on those sites you're hitting the desire and the fear points? That's what I'm trying to cover at the moment. Sorry, let me know if I'm not doing it very eloquently and I'll change tact.
No, no, no. I'm just asking a different question, and I definitely understand. I don't understand it entirely, but I definitely understand the direction that you're going. But please go ahead.
Okay. What was the other question? Was that about where to list? Is that what you meant?
No, not at all. I think that I'm thinking more outside the box marketing because there's only so much I can do on the sites. Like I'm doing, like I get on every 1 to 2 hours and I turn off my available now and I turn it back on trust.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing that last month and I don't know if it's related or if it's, the hits in social media or both or neither, but my views went from like, I don't know, 105 to like 175.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been keeping that up. And then like, actually I got a booking today. He said I saw you on Twitter. So I'm trying to like be in the marketing sense in new places where they kind of run across me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. I get what you're saying. I always prioritize my energy in that case when I'm trying to increase exposure on maximizing the escort ad sites that I'm on,
Yes.
having my relevant links on all those sites. So driving traffic back to the website. If I am utilizing social media back to, and what I like about the website is that once a client lands on there, there's no competition from other escorts. So you have their full attention.
Yeah.
Driving them back to any social media channels. And then when I'm on the social media channel, I'm again trying to drive them back to the website. And then when I'm on the website, I'm trying to maximize conversions by giving them incentive reasons to reach out to me, like a direct response sort of style. Because once they're on the site, like you want them to contact you.
Yeah. The really clear special has definitely, caught a few eyes. So, I mean, yes, I totally get it. I do.
You could even
Incentive.
try that in your Twitter bio. You could have go to my website to learn about my new client special, new client offer.
Twitter, yeah, social media. Yeah, I mean, so, I mean, I don't have the camera on here, but I can also just tell you the numbers.
Okay.
But I understand that, like, you're telling me to optimize, websites and all that. And I think the website's probably the last thing that I'm really like not worried about, but like, no, it needs significant work, I guess. Maybe not significant, but it needs some work. Mostly, I think in like the way it drives the client. I don't know that I've got like that client funnel idea down pat, you know. Um, but like when I have a good couple of days on Twitter, my views on Trist, they just like they skyrocket. Um, so I guess what I'm trying to say is I think that there's a lot of opportunity to find new clients in new places, especially as these ad sites over here at least are unreliable at best. Oh, I'm looking for those pictures.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, no, it's not that I don't understand what you're saying, and I get it, and I agree that I definitely need to work on, a few more things in that section. Um, but I'm really happy with the ad copy, actually.
I really liked what you had originally.
Thank
And
you.
to be clear, like it's really good when someone's got a great initial bio and it's got so much personality. It really feels authentic, and that's what I like about like your whole profile is that it's so much authenticity in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked for me over the years, right? Like, it's just the only way I know how to be. So,
Yeah.
but no, I guess I'm trying to like refine that into, something that's more directed. So I really appreciated your rewrite. I thought it was great. Like, yeah, I like the word you used, punchy. Um, so I'm working on all that. But yeah, let's see if I can see some numbers here.
Okay.
So I think when I started, yeah. So okay, here's me on May 30th. I had 107,000 impressions.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't have like my Twitter records up, but by let's see, it looks like by July 13th, so 6 weeks later, I guess. Um, I had 165,000, and then a few weeks, not even a few weeks later, by July 17th, 4 days later, it was up another like 30,000. What did I say? 165. Now it's at 175.
Hmm.
So, and like I was doing really high numbers at the time, and I've just kind of like fallen off lately. And so my numbers went down, but then today or yesterday or recently, I don't know, I put up a couple good posts and then it went straight up.
Hmm.
Um, so it's been interesting to watch because I've been watching this since before we met each other.
So if you see a direct correlation in your impressions and overall online activity when you post more,
Yeah.
can you just
Well, when I
continue
post well,
when you post well, can you continue to post more and/well?
that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've been working on it for the last like year or so.
Mm.
Um, I tend to like I can't do it for too long, like maybe a week to 2 weeks before I just kind of fall off for a few days, which always kind of messes with the growth pattern. But it's just a lot to be on there every day, and then the algorithm expects you to spend a lot of time. So really, I took your advice this week, and I just kind of like got off of it. And obviously, I still saw bookings, but today I made a good post, and I did get a booking in correlation to it, whether it was direct or not. I'm not 100% certain.
Okay.
He said he saw me put on.
So to be clear, I think that social media definitely has a place. And
Yeah,
the reality is the way algorithms work on social media is, yeah, the more you do, the more exposure you get, the better quality your content is. So like volume is number one. Then number two is the quality, because the more activity you get around your post also boosts you up. It's
yes,
definitely not something that I don't think has value. It's just not where I like to start. I like to start on making sure the offer, the pitch, the ads all convert once clients actually land there. Then once
that's
that's
true.
working like as well as we can for the people who want to and have the time and want to make the commitment, then sure, like pushing more energy into social media consistently high quality is all going to have a feedback loop and is a snowball effect. Like it will continue to compound. If you're finding the consistency is tricky, which I totally empathize with, because I find that like social media content is such hard work. What you can try, if you haven't already, is setting aside one day a month and doing like a mini selfie shoot, mini videos, whatever it is you're comfortable doing, and then getting all of that content prepared and just posting once a day, every day at the same time. You can even buy X Pro, I think, and pre-schedule your posts. So you literally spend one day a month doing it. That's how I do it when I'm really wanting to push out content, is I just like set aside one day, do everything I have to do to prepare it, use other people anywhere I can, editors, that sort of stuff if I want to use them, but you don't always have to, depends on what you're doing. And then I just pre-schedule. That way I do it one day a month and that's it. I don't have to think about it again. And I use the findings for the month to inform what I do next month. So as an escort, if I find that like I get the most activity on a particular style of picture, I'm going to do more of that next month. Like I don't try and reinvent the wheel. I just do more of what's working.
Gotcha. That's good insight.
Could you try that? Could you set aside, because I know it's such a pain, the volume and stuff. Yeah, could you set aside one day a month?
Somebody to do something with me. I mean, I can do like a self shoot, but it drives so much anxiety in me that I've been trying to hire like, some like local friends that do it. But I'm gonna have to just find myself like a, kind of run of the mill photographer or something.
Okay.
Or just, figure out how to organize myself so I can do it myself. It ends up taking like 3 days.
It definitely will at first. You'll get faster and more efficient. It's just a bit of a grind initially. Like what I do is I'll set aside, like specific to escorting, a day. If I'm not comfortable taking photos at my house, then I try and correlate it with when I've got a location, like if I've booked it for an in-call or whatever. And then I take
pictures and whatever.
Yeah. Then I take a range of different outfits, like 5 or 6. Okay. I find different spots around the room and I change my hair. So like I'm trying to make it look like it's different so that for the next 30 days, it doesn't just look like I've used the same set of photos, obviously. And I just take a ton of pictures. Then I go home, I pick out the best 30. I use editors on Upwork, pay them super cheap. They edit it and make it look exactly as I want, put a blur on whatever it is I'm doing. And then I just pre-schedule for the next 30 days. And look, not every photo I'm going to look like a supermodel. I'm just not, but it's not the highest priority as long as I look good enough. Yeah, as long as it's reflective of the style of my profile, that's really all that matters.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. That's good. Yeah.
That's okay. The perfectionism might be something that you suffer from a little bit, and I do too, but I just sometimes have to put it in the bin. It's like, if it's like, I ask myself, is this good enough? If it's good enough, fine. Is it perfect? No. It's always like, even my own content that I put up, half the time I'm like, Jesus, this could be so much better. But it's like, well, I only have so much time in a day. Yeah, exactly. It's done. And you'd be amazed. Like, you'd be amazed the results that you get from something that you think is a bit shit, but other people think is awesome.
It started happening with like selfies on social media. I mean, not that like they were horrible. They were just not the quality of like photos I was used to working. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Okay. Any other thoughts that you want to impart on last one?
The social media stuff.
Yeah.
My best advice on this is.
Go ahead, dude. Sorry.
That's okay. No problem. I want to make sure I don't speak over you. My best advice on the social media is it is about consistency, number one, and volume. And how to do that is, how do you streamline it for yourself? And people way overcomplicate it. Like, I do whole profiles with people that make thousands of dollars just using selfie photos because it's what clients want to see. And, they start working with me, they think they're going to have to spend thousands of dollars on a shoot, and they just don't. It's like, sure, you can do that in the future if you genuinely want to, but you actually don't have to do it to make money. And I'd say for social media, you don't have to do it. So just keep it simple. And it might be a bit uncomfortable at first because you feel a bit shit in front of the camera. Like, I hate taking photos of myself. Thank God I don't have to do it anymore. But when I did used to,
Oh,
I was super critical of all my pictures, but I just got on with it, to be honest, and just used them anyway.
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I get all that for sure.
Cool.
My content has gotten better, over the last year, so there's that. I
I
think
thought your
probably the
content was
best.
great, by the way, everything that
Yeah,
I saw.
yeah, yeah. I think the best advice you just gave me was to start getting help in places that I don't need to be wasting time in, like photo editing. I mean, I found
Mm.
it extremely fun, but I don't need to put my energy there.
Mm. Yeah, that's definitely something you can pay someone pretty cheap to do.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Let's see. I think I have a few more thoughts in this note. Yeah, I guess so. Then it just went to how can I figure out? I think it was probably in a video I was watching of yours. Who is my target clientele, and how do I find out what they like and what ails them? Yeah, so I think just how do I figure that out when I'm talking to them? I've been working on that, like with the, do you have any special requests?
Mm.
Trying to, mirror back what they're saying to them. I guess you did tell me, their fears are like rejection, not being good enough, ugly. Okay.
Well,
I
the
guess I want to
mark.
appeal.
Sorry, go on.
No, that was. I guess I want to appeal to more than just their fears. Like I'd like to kind of draw them out of like that basic instinct, through these questions or discoveries. I guess I don't know. Am I speaking clear enough? I don't know if I'm giving form real thoughts here. It's a whole lot of brainstorming.
No, that's cool. Love the brainstorming. Yeah, it totally makes sense. When I'm texting with an inquiry, the reality is we
Mhm.
can't do like a deep psychological Q&A with them, right? Like we've got not very long. We're texting for God's sake, and we don't want to make it too full on because it's meant to be a fun experience. So I keep it simple. I lead with the any special requests, what sort of experience are you wanting to have? And as you would have experienced, some clients don't say a lot. Oh, I just want to have a good time. Okay, fine. How I look out for concerns or fears is it's always in the stuff that they don't want to do. It's always in like if they don't want to screen, if they don't want to meet you there, if they don't want to spend money on the deposit, and then I just ask direct questions about that. What is it about the screening that you're concerned about? And then they'll give me the answer usually, and I just see if I can deal with that. So like when you're actually in the interaction, we're not really as much at the point of like the advertising perspective of what are the fears and the desires which we're trying to tackle in the ad copy to get them to make contact. Once they've made contact, it's more direct, it's more in the moment. So you can just ask them that stuff and go off what they give you.
Yeah, I haven't had too many. I don't know of the don't want what they don't want. I've had a few, that wanted to book with me, but they didn't want to screen or send deposit. I started with then starting with the, are you okay to send deposit? Because I mean, I really liked your mail. Um, and that's usually where people who aren't going to pass my screening are.
Mm.
I don't know. I guess I was just thinking about how long it takes some of these people. It's a lot of work to put in like this much thought to every single person that like reaches out to me. I mean, it's my job. I'm fine with it, but I sat here for probably about 2 hours to make tomorrow's booking. Granted, it was because he was, probably at work and texting me every 5 or 10 minutes, and it was not like I was sitting there doing nothing else. But it's a lot of work
Mm.
readily available like that.
Especially when it's new. And then the last thing I'll say on the market stuff, like knowing the
Yeah,
fears and desires, is I pick that up based on every booking I do. Clients say the same things about what they like when you talk to them. Generally there'll be categories, and once you get talking to them in an interaction, you'll hear the same things that they're concerned about. And so I'm just absorbing that information all the time, using the words that they use, and then I'll go back to my bio and like slip those specific things in. And I'll also use those words when I'm texting with them. So like natural, organic, just like a girlfriend. That's all the shit that I heard for years. So now I just use it everywhere. If I'm trying to upsell them, I'll use it. You know, the concerns about running out of time. There's a lot of concerns for guys with shorter bookings about performance anxiety. Now, like physically, now I don't say to them, oh, don't worry, you should book longer in case you can't get hard. I just say, wouldn't it be better if we had an unrushed time together so that we could really take our time to get to know each other? Unrushed, not hurried, no pressure, no stress. Yeah. So it's like I'm just picking it up all the time. And then specifically from what they say, like I'm always paying attention to what words do the clients use to describe the things that they like and don't like. And then I just start using that myself. Like if they talk about, there were so many clients I heard talk about how they felt rushed with their scores or how it didn't feel natural. The timer went off, you know, it felt really clinical. And so then I just started, it's like sometimes doing the reverse sell. Like I would use the concept of, oh, we don't want to be rushed, so let's have longer. That's all that it is.
Okay. Yeah. I liked all those words. I'm writing too fast, but that's okay.
If you wanted to get really intense about it, and you don't have to do this, but there's a time where I went through this. I had a Excel, positive words, negative words, and when I've noted one, I'd write it down on my phone. And I had big lists of like, here's the stuff that I know clients like, here's the stuff that I know clients don't like. And I just became more and more familiar, and it just became part of my vocabulary when dealing with clients in every respect, including advertising.
Yes. Interesting. I like that. When you did this list, was it in reference to you, providers, experience, their whole lives, family?
It was about the experience they wanted to have. That's what I was always focused on.
Okay.
So sometimes that was about me, sure. Other times it was about them. Other times it was about what they didn't want. It was about bad experiences that they had. Yeah, definitely some stuff about their personal situation. Like a common one is not feeling desired or wanted at home. I mean, not many clients will talk to you about that, but I got that out of some who I really knew.
Yes. Yeah, they tell me that one all the time.
I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. But yeah.
I mean, it is funny because it's the same story. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, you want some love? Come here.
Yeah, they do want some love, that's for sure. So yeah, I was just paying attention to all of that stuff. And if you do it, just when you start to tune into it, you just, I mean, already, right, you're saying, oh yeah, like lots of people say that. It's like, yeah, that the majority of them say the same thing. They just might use slightly different words and have slightly different details.
Okay. No, that's a better idea.
And you can even build this stuff into your social media captions, like posting a photo. Like, so lots of men have like teenage crushes that they never forget, right? Little fantasies about when they were 20 and they felt full of testosterone, that girl that they wish they got, the outfits that she wore. So you could have a photo of yourself in a schoolgirl outfit, like my schoolgirl outfit from back in the day. That's a headline that's going to get their attention.
Okay.
If you want to learn more escorting tips, just click the link below this video.